winner bracket final. No, sorry. Winner bracket semi-final. There we go. This makes a little bit more sense. So we are in the second best of 3 series of the day. We have our second winner bracket final. Sloth Sanctuary is playing against Team Space. We're on Battlefield of Eternity. Our first one here. And yeah, let's see who is gonna be able to win this one. Now again, guys, there's a couple of rules obviously associated with the tournament. Now, first of all, only teams that are in HeroesLounge Division 4 and 5, which is the lowest divisions, can play in the tournament. And we have seen some epic games already. But the whole idea here is to really support grassroots, to show you also a couple of the lower divisions, and also to make people a little bit more familiar with HeroesLounge as a general concept. Because there's still a lot of people that don't know the Heroes of the Storm Amateur League. Check it out if you haven't yet. HeroesLounge.gg with awesome games so far already. We have a complete 8-team double elimination bracket. This is the second Underdog Cup. The first Underdog Cup was catering towards the teams that were in Division 2 and 3. And of course there is also a draft restriction, meaning that every single hero that gets played cannot be played again, which makes a bit of a difference in the lower leagues, obviously, since it also affects directly the hero pools that the players have, which are traditionally a little bit smaller than when you compare them to, let's say, ex-pros or semi-professional players. Now, in our first game, that doesn't really make a difference yet. Teams are, of course, kind of familiar with each other, and they're also now playing in a tournament environment, which means that the farther you progress in the tournament, the more matches of your opponent you can look at and think about, hey, what do they like to play? What kind of strategies do they love? Can we ban something out? By now, for example, we have for Team Space, Li Ming, Varian, Anduin, so you already get a bit of an idea that they're probably working around Taunt here. They're going to try and get some CC involved, and then it's going to be an attempt to just simply come in, get a taunt, quick damage connected, stun follow-ups, burn the target down, and win the team fight that way. Just start it off with a quick kill, turn it into a 5 versus 4, and play it out from there. On top of that, we have Vala and Rhaegar on the other side. So Vala very likely going to go into an arrow build and then going to try and burn the Immortal down. There is a chance that instead what we're going to see is her trying to play this out with an actual auto attack. That's obviously the next version that could be played here. You could go into an auto attack style, and then with auto attacks where you normally want to have some additional support, just simply get the team fight victory and play it out from there. But given the fact that they're locking in Hanzo, there's a good chance that they're just trying to play for the Immortal with Vala Arrow plus Hanzo Scatter Shot. They would have very, very nice burn against it. Could rush the opponent down on their Immortal very quickly and block the first, second, maybe even third one in, try and snowball the game from there. There's our stun follow-up on the taunt from Varian, and we get Jimmy 4 additional Immortal damage also from Team Space. So Exterminator is going to be a thing here. That's what we're going to get from them. And our final pick over on the right side, the Rabbit with a side laner, and we get Artanis. If they are really going for an arrow build here, then they have 3 heroes that do extra damage against the Immortal. As much fun as I make of Trash Tannis, also known as the Liability, I gotta say that would be quite the Immortal power. So let's see what they can do. Game number 1, everybody, in the best of 3 series here in the winner bracket semifinal. Game number 1, we're in Battlefield of Eternity, and over on the left side in blue, we got Amphora on Blaze, Quibi is playing Reyna, Primordial King with our main tank Varian, and his son Anduin played by Fox. Echo on Li Ming, we got over on the right side Sloth Sanctuary with Zal's Decay on Vala, going indeed into an arrow play. We got Lucy on Hanzo, Morpheus on Murden, Cosmic on Rhaegar, and then last but not least, we have Rabbit on Artanis. So, down at the bottom of the map, that's what we're gonna get our 4-man. And at the top, we have the side lane, as you would expect it. So we have our Varian versus... Artanis against Blaze lineup topside. I really want to see how quickly they can take one of the Immortals down here. Because, okay, it's gonna, after level 7, after we have Monster Hunter, that's gonna be the big one here, after Monster Hunter kicks in. At this point, it's really just ridiculous how much direct damage they have against the Immortal, and I just want to see how this works out for them. We have in addition also our first blood already for the red team, so I guess things are going pretty okay for them. They are getting first blood connected, a little bit of a lead, but I really want to see, after Vala as Monster Hunter, how quickly they can tear an Immortal down. Currently, they're just speed farming the blue team, trying to get some extra experience by rushing in and absolutely demolishing that bot lane 4-man. So that is the second kill. And outside of them getting a bit more control over the lane and also the lead on the camps, they are now in a spot where they can very, very quickly try and get ahead in experience, maybe get to an early level 7. I mean, at this point, you're just looking at a team that has the potential to grab a level 7 talent. First Immortal level 7, they would have to kill a few more heroes. This is honestly a bit tricky to get. Normally, unless it's really delayed. But if they would be able to pull it off, that would of course be pretty fantastic. I mean, at that point, you're essentially looking at exactly the lineup that I've been talking about earlier, where you're playing heavily around, the arrow from Vala. You have amateur opponent. So with all of that in action, they should be able to burn these down mega quickly. We have, on the other hand, also Exterminator. It's not like the blue team doesn't have any heroes that would be good in this context. I mean, you're currently looking at a team that is running not only Exterminator on Reyna, but also has Li Ming, which with her combos in general is doing pretty okay and is doing lots of damage. Taunt is now available, which means that this is really the time where the blue team needs to start making their play. So they need to start to get into a position where they are just making a few moves around Taunt, get their skills in. If they fail to do that, then it's going to become difficult, because their entire composition is essentially centered around that idea. Maybe not the entire, but large parts of that composition. So they're trying to get the damage in on Hanzo. He is low, but they are not able to get a kill yet. So yeah, a bit unlucky. But yeah, so in the meantime, the first few Immortals are going to be attacked. This is where the red team really needs to show them how it's done now. I mean, now you're really in a spot where you have to start working this one down. And Jimmy is doing a lot of damage himself. Jimmy, with his Exterminator, is probably the best in the earlier on Immortals, because that's in a situation where your opponent might not have unleashed all of their own tools yet. The experience gap, by the way, has been bridged, so they're fine on that account. But the first one, it seems like they're now trying to defend here, and with Hanzo plus Vala working in tandem, even without Monster Hunter, they're burning this down so damn quickly. The blue team has no chance of winning this. So the first one is taken and gets quickly grabbed by Sloth Sanctuary. We now have a chance at the top lane to try and take one of the forts out. So they can start and make a bit of a move for that first structures. At least open the wall up and damage the fort a little bit, unless of course they get kills early on. Blaze and the Liability are still working through the bot lane. Both StarCraft heroes, by the way. So yeah, bot lane heroes currently dominated by StarCraft themed ones. Vala with level 7 Monster Hunter, so here we go. Next Immortal should fall pretty quickly. Assuming also, of course, that she is getting some decent stacks together. And currently, she's not been stacking all that hard yet. We have her on 8 stacks, that's not bad. Down at the bottom of the map, of course. Yeah, a little bit of damage has been done there too. The fort, by the way, not even scratched. So they got the wall, but that's all that they were able to do. Just the wall. And outside of the earlier 2 kills, we haven't seen anybody else die yet. Vala's still working to get a few more numbers on her level 1 talent. Hanzo on 15 stacks, not quite completed with his own quest yet. Down at the bottom of the map, Amphora and Rabbits still fighting against each other. With Blaze starting to have a huge problem. Muradin, if that Stormbolt connects, he's dead. He should be dead here. And he goes down. Nicely done. Well played, honestly, by the Sanctuary. The Sloths. The Sloths are listening. I mean, that was pretty nice. So now there are 3 kills to 0. And the red team and the blue team is still waiting for their first kill. Which, again, in their context, is pretty bad. This is pretty annoying for them. Because they are now continuously in a spot where they're just not able to get kills with a composition that is designed to get kills. And now the Immortal is spawning. And this is where Vala, Artanis, and... Oh, unless... Okay, if that would have been a kill on Vala, that would have been nice timing. But right now, the situation that we have in front of ourselves is now we have 3 heroes that are doing more damage towards the Immortal. And with that, you now have a chance to burn this one down mega quickly. And this is exactly what we're like now gonna see. And I have no idea why the blue team isn't even fighting for this. Blue team isn't even trying. And the halftime show is over just in a flash. So they are going for a camp at the bottom of the map. And they try and get some mercenary power on the bot lane. But within seconds, the Immortal just is eliminated. So halftime show is over. And now the position is more of a defensive one. Taunt on Hanzo, that didn't help them either. He was already mid-jump, so that didn't do anything. Talking about jump, Muradin is also jumping out. He's also retreating. Gets out there fairly quickly. But, yeah. Norfois is now level 10, so is the rest of the team. Of course, now they're in that neat little spot where they have heroic abilities and the opponent doesn't just have them yet. That will change in a moment. But still, they can get the initial hit onto the Immortal over here. Yeah, and just look how quickly this goes down. Arrows from Vala, Hanzo with a bit of action, and Artanis is on it too with his level 1 talent with the amateur opponent. And they nearly win the objective. Just off those few attacks, they were able to get in. Li Ming has also gone into Disintegrate, despite the fact that we don't have a Nubarak over here. So that's another one. That's a bit of an issue that they will have to deal with. They're trying over here to make a move and attempt to get a kill, which is one of the few ways on how they can technically still win the Immortal, win the team fight, force them back. But it's currently not happening. There's another swap going on. Stormbolt connects, Blaze, Jet Propulsion, Big Arrow, Light Bomb. Everybody pulls their ults. They're going for the big stuns here. Artanis could technically... Yeah, they're going in for the kill and they're taking Jimmy out. Jimmy's eliminated. Huge Jet Propulsion as Li Ming is looking for resets. She gets him. Reset against Vala. Vala is down, but gets murdered a moment later from Artanis. As if dying wasn't already bad enough, now you die to Artanis, adding insult to injury. But they still haven't taken the objective. Despite all of the little poking that is currently happening, they weren't able to get the Immortal. Now, to be fair, the red team's Immortal hasn't even taken any damage yet, and it seems that the blue team is mega hesitant to even walk over there. So they're not making any moves. They're just simply saying like, we're not quite sure. We're a little bit too afraid to actually engage into this. I'm not so sure about this though. I mean, it seems like they're going to get away with it because we have the same happening over on the red team side. If they would have moved in, I think that Immortal would already be over. But okay, as it stands right now, that's not quite what we're getting. It's still quick attacks over towards the Immortal with a bit of poke from Hanzo. Vala is currently not getting close enough to really make a big difference here. If she would be able to get into a spot, then a single double arrow rotation would probably nearly chunk it to 0. But I have to repeat myself. They haven't taken any damage yet on their own Immortal. The Sloth Sanctuary is also applying pressure at the top lane, thanks to the camp that they've taken. So, yeah, that's the next one. And over here, big fight. Arrow comes out. Nice connect. Light bomb on Varian. They're trying to get a kill. Muradin went Haymaker, so he doesn't have Avatar. That's a bit of a tricky spot for him occasionally with these fights. But the party just continues. Seems like Varian is going to get murdered, Hanzoed by the Archer. And now the Immortal is wide open and they're getting 100% shield Immortal. Absolutely crazy. I can't believe that the blue team was at no point able to push over and do at least a little bit of damage. That's a huge setback for them right now. So, yeah, definitely a bit unfortunate. But, okay. So, as it stands right now, that bot lane push is going to hurt. This one is going to be... I mean, honestly, they're going to lose the fort here. There's just no doubt in my mind. They also lost the topside fort because that camp did just so much damage. Blaze is now counter-pressuring, hoping to catch them up in experience at least to a small degree. But as you can see, this is just a disaster. That Immortal is now only halfway down on its shield and they've already eliminated the fort itself. So with that, they're going to be able to just simply push through the wall again. Yeah, swap. Atanas swapped himself into a little bit of a pickle here and goes down too. So, yeah, typical Atanas play. They lost Vala a moment later too. And now they have to retreat. I think they would have been better off just defending. Not defending, but attacking with the Immortal and not being that aggressive. So, yeah, and because it was such a beautiful play, of course, I would be remiss if I didn't show it to you again. So Atanas comes in and he thinks, who am I going to swap? How about the guy that's behind the gate? And then we see that typical Atanas player. I'm not even ripping the player. You can only use the tools that you are given. And if you're given the liability, then we all know what's going to happen. And that's exactly what's going on here. So, yeah. Off we go. That's 3 kills to 7 now. Both forts destroyed. The only thing that surprises me maybe a little bit is that we haven't seen more damage yet from, well, more of a lead in experience from the other team, from the Sloth Sanctuary. They were in a pretty good spot here, and honestly it looked for a while like they might just be able to run away with this, but it's not happening right now. Obviously, still waiting to see how the blue team is going to react here and what they are going to do. So far, they haven't really found a way to bring this back, and I'm a little bit worried for them around the next objective. It's going to be the one that might become tricky. So, yeah, we'll have to see. They need to fight more aggressively around the next objective. If they're not doing that, then it's just going to be a disaster for them. Already they're trailing, but they're still in reach with experience. Their structures, on the other hand, are just getting absolutely demolished. So that's a huge, huge issue here. Anu is the only one on that team that hasn't died yet. We have 30,000 damage on Hanzo, and we have 23,000 on Vala. Yeah. And now Blaze still at the top, getting the XP for the team. Immortal is spawning in just a moment. And, well, they're immediately on it. Look how quickly this thing falls. Their opponent isn't quite ready yet, and this is already on halftime. So, yeah. You really, really, really need to defend this quickly, or you're going to be in trouble. 1 arrow, 2 arrow, Hanzo is in, and instantly this thing is low. But this time they might get the kill. Rhaegar with his self-ancestral, though, saves the day for now. Vala is still attempting to get arrows connected. Gets 1, gets 2, might even be able to get the Immortal, but Jimmy is paying attention and pushes her back. There's also the camp that needs to be dealt with at the bot lane, but they are not the only ones with camps. The opponent is sitting up at the top lane and is getting their camp there. So they're doing the top lane push for the next keep, actually, at this point. So, yeah, keep is going to get attacked there. If they let this slide, if they are not taking care of it. But Hanzo is now doing a little bit more damage. We're having Vala come in, and bam, another big Immortal. Now, to be fair, this time the blue team actually did some damage. Team Space was able to drop it to roughly 60% of its HP. But it's moving through the top lane now. Arrow connects with Liming. Stormbolt. Yeah, Jet Propulsion's out too. They're starting to poke the heroes out a bit. And they're forcing as many of the ults as they can before the Immortal is even there. So that's actually a great chance for them to reset this just slightly. And then play with the Immortal and make it much, much harder for Team Space to properly defend here. So, here we are. Big topside push. The opportunity to swap. Go straight in for the next kill. Haven't gotten it yet, but they might be able to get that key. We are 15 minutes into the game. Both teams on level 16 talents now. Vala has gone into Seething Hatred. So, Seething Hatred for her. No Manticore in this case. And the keep does not look good. Not at all. That keep is gonna get wrecked. Unless they don't push. Alright. They just fell back for now. It's still mega low. But I think in a situation like this, especially with the ults that were still available to them, they should have probably played a bit more aggressively around it and take that down. They would have continuously kept catapults spawning and would have applied more pressure, which would have been fantastic for the next Immortal phase. But they don't go for it. So right now, we have at the bottom of the map still a couple of catapults pushing on for this keep, which also doesn't have a wall anymore to protect it. The blue team is with the entire force sitting at the top lane now. So everybody is just sitting topside, trying to push here. I haven't done anything there yet. Down at the bottom of the map. They're taking the next camp as well. So, just like the typical play where you're trying to get more lane pressure against your opponent, I guess they're mostly fine waiting for the next objective to spawn too. At least from the looks of it here. So, they're just going to go through the same plays again. Team Space hasn't won a single objective yet. They haven't gotten an Immortal. They also haven't really gotten a lot of kills. So, a few problems for them. Now, with the Immortal spawning in 30 seconds, something has to change, or Team Space is going to lose even more ground. But they're trying to aggressively now move in and take the fort out. They have still a couple of minions left, so good for them. Red Team super unwilling to fight this. And they're actually sacrificing their fort. They still had Artanis at the top lane. Alright. So, now they lost one of their forts. It's the first structure. See if they can do something around the Immortal. So Artanis already with a bit of damage. Vala comes in, connects the first few arrows. She's at 19 stacks, by the way. There's not a whole lot of stacks for Vala. It's really not a whole lot. Light Bomb and Immortal Stun. And Trash Tannis is dead. Trash Tannis is down. A little bit too much that came together. And with all that CC, now the blue team for the first time has the upper hand in the battle. There's a chance for them now. They can take the halftime show and maybe a bit more than that. Red team is not attacking. They are going to wait. This is problematic though. That catapult could ruin the keep. There's a big minion wave too. They are currently sending... Okay, they're sending Blaze back. So Blaze is on his way back to deal with that. But it will still take some damage. Oh, they actually... Okay, that timing worked perfectly out for them. Alright, so far so good. But now that the halftime show is over, the red team is just trying to race them. They know that they're way behind, but they also know that they have an enormous amount of damage on this. And just look how quickly they're starting to turn this. They might not be able to win it, but they're actually going to reduce it to a ridiculous amount. They might actually win it. If they get another rotation with Vala, they take it. And they do. They actually take it. They lost the halftime show by a huge margin, and then they just go in and take it anyways. Vala has only 20 stacks, and they were still able to pull that off. Insane. Another Immortal one. If you're Team Space right now, you're just hating the map. You're just like, why? What's going on here? Vala, Hanzo, Artanis, they're too much to handle. They're just too much to handle in that situation. Nothing that they were able to do. Now the keep at the bottom is going to take damage. But can... Oh, they might win the fight again. Yep, the Ancestral is too late. Couldn't save Artanis. But the Immortal is still attacking. But I don't think they're going to lose that keep. Well, are they? Ah, they just might. Depends on the wind-up on the next attack. Yeah, they're going to lose it. Okay. So one keep is down. Keep at the top is low. Vala is actually moving in with the rest of the team. Gets a couple of arrows connected. They're just trying to get some abilities in. But it's not enough to take the keep down. I appreciate the thought, though. I appreciate the idea. Now just make sure that you don't die. Yeah. So they're already attempting to slow him. Everybody is starting to move back very, very quickly. There you go. By the way, we have on 16 the Arcane Orbit. Okay. Not really something that you would expect. But, yeah, a little bit of attempted synergy. The other talents that they're currently rocking here with the level 4 talent. They're going for the camp at the bottom of the map now. So, that's the next one, the next play to be made. But they lose a fort at the top because of it. It's starting to become a little bit weird. It honestly feels like the team in red has started to think, hey, we can't win these team fights. Or for some reason, we don't want to win the team fights. I mean, one of the two is definitely true. And they're just letting them take structures. They've destroyed the keep at the bottom of the map, so they are definitely still ahead. That hasn't changed. But this is still something that would personally concern me just a little bit. The red team is just saying, we can win every single Immortal, so let's just do exactly that. Let's just play around the Immortals and nothing else. And so far, it's been more or less working. It's just a bit odd considering that they were also the team that initially did all of the structural damage and was able to do just fantastic. around hero kills. They were ahead with like, what was it, 4 kills to 0 and then 7 to 2. Now they've lost a few. But yeah, the Immortals are popping up and the blue team is going full defense now. And if the red team doesn't want to reposition here, this is going to be a little bit wild for them. Nice connect from Vala. Once that Li Ming goes for disintegrate and essentially self-stuns, they're just coming in. Vala connects a few, and they can still do some extra damage around the Immortal right now. Vala is shooting one out after another. They're poking this down slowly. There's the taunt though. Jet propulsion. Ancestral is ready. Hanzo with the arrow. Stormbolt right after that too. Yeah. Not too shabby. Okay, careful. Oh, Varian! And he gets away. But the halftime show is already over. So they're pushing this even harder. They could just simply... Oh, they're going to get the kill, aren't they? They're going to go for Primordial King. Anduin! Son saves father. They are all so low. It's ridiculous. He didn't even get 8 hit points. The fucker had 8 hit points. But they kill at least Jimmy. Somebody had to die here. And it's Jimmy. Jimmy falls. He goes down. I cannot believe that Anduin survived. He had 8 hit points at the time. Absolutely crazy. But yeah, he made it. So now they can go for the Immortal. That's exactly what they're doing. And let's not forget, we're currently 22 minutes into this game. So once that they have an Immortal, it's going to be a big one. The topside keep is going to fall within seconds, and then they're going to move straight for the core. But, whew, Team Space, they're fighting back as best as they can. They somehow nearly saved the entire team in that onslaught that happened a second ago. But the Sloth Sanctuary, just a bit too strong here. And as I keep saying, once that the Sloths are in the lead, you are in trouble. You're really in trouble. Sloths are lazy. And once they are ahead, the laziest way out in a series for them is to win the second map. Playing 3 games? Sloths don't want to play 3 games. They don't even want to get out of bed in the morning. So once they are ahead, whew, that second game is going to be tough. Now, that topside keep is going to get murdered. I mean, one-shotted. 1 shot, 2 shot, I say 1. And it's 1 shot. There we go. 1 shot. That one's gone. And now, of course, it's all about the core. Can it somehow be saved? They have some immortal damage as well, but I just do not think that they have enough. The shield is already falling. Jimmy is dead. Jimmy is gone again. Hanzo with 70,000 damage in this game. And this is the lead for the Sanctuary Sloths. They take game number 1 in the best of 3 series here in the winner bracket semifinal. GG, and nicely played on Battlefield of Eternity.
Before we head into game number 2, make sure that you subscribe to the channel if you haven't done it yet so you don't miss out on any future content here on Khaldor TV.
Okay, game number 2, Infernal Shrines, ladies and gentlemen. Let's get this show going. We have the Sloths in the lead. The red team has taken the victory on Battlefield of Eternity, and now we're jumping into our second map. We are still in the winners bracket. The 10 heroes that have been played cannot be played again, so they are out. And of course, quite important also that we have a losers bracket. So whichever team loses this series, it could happen now, this is match point number 1 for the red team. Whichever team loses, drops down into the lower bracket, still has a chance for that lower bracket run that would lead them to the grand final. But we'll see what exactly they can pull off here now on the second map. Also, once again, a reminder, all of this is only possible because of the support on patreon.com/Khaldor. Big thank you to all of the people that are supporting the stream and the channel there. We have now the second Underdog Cup. Prize money for both of the events is put up by me for those. We have, of course, more tournaments coming throughout the year too, as we did have for the last 5, ever since Blizzard cancelled support for all esports activities in Heroes of the Storm. So if you want to support this, if you want to help to keep Heroes Esports alive, then consider supporting the channel there. It would definitely be appreciated. If you watch on YouTube right now, there is a link in the description. Auriel is our first choice. And we get Leo plus Stitches immediately on the side of Team Space, who are apparently starting to change tactics a little bit and hope for that monster hook to win the game. Now, we'll see if that is going to work out for them. Oriel, with a good Aegis, can already ruin that a little bit. Now you have Horrify to work on this too. This is actually pretty sick. So, at that point, you have Gul'dan with for Infernal Shrines. You have Diablo for a little bit of bullying around and keep people stunned into walls. So, that's not too bad either. So, that's generally a pretty solid start into any kind of like big play around the shrines. So definitely something where they could start to do some serious work here. But yeah, we'll see. We'll see what follows on this. Side laner is going to be important. Hogger gets now banned, but obviously there's still plenty available. Leo already in for team space, but let's say for example the Sloth Sanctuary picks the Haka here. They could do a lot with him too, and then have also the global that can give you some added benefits. Kel'Thur's banned, so the mage is out, which means that no spread of the living bombs for the time being. But we need a follow, and also the follow-up from Kel'Thur's with Gravity Lapse is therefore also unavailable. So that's the next one that they don't have ready. Now, with that said, you still want to have some additional stuns or roots on the ground whenever Stitches gets that hook, so somebody has to happen around those lines. And they go for Malfurion. So they get the roots on the ground for Malfurion. They have Tychus for the Odin transformation, which is also going to help. Over on the red team side, the final two picks, side lane are probably the most important one for them now. But we can also see what they have in mind for the second damage dealer. I guess the Haka would be a good one. If they have a Haka player, that's definitely a good choice. As I said, you can play around the preference picks and the lower hero pools in these Division 4 and 5 games. Let's not forget, this is on average, this is like gold level. You have a couple players a little bit higher, some a bit lower. But that's just like the rough average. Thrall and Sylvanas. So we have Thrall as a side laner. Alright, not the most hit point heavy guy up there, but we'll see how that works for them. Sylvanas could go well if they are getting some objectives, if they're taking some of the Punishers. And now the final pick for the blue team, and we have Junkrat. So a trap and roots after Stitches gets his hook connects. Infernal Shrines, everybody, match point number 1 for the Sloths as we are heading into the best of 3 series, the second map of the best of 3 series. Game number 2, Team Space on the left with Amphora on Leoric. We got Quibi on Tychus, Primordial King with Stitches, Fox on Malfurion, and Echo is playing Junkrat. Over on the right side, the Rabbit. Still a pretty fun name, honestly, when you're just like thinking about it in general and the heroes that he plays. It would be amazing if he just played Anduin and nothing else. The Rabbit is running away. But yes, Rabbit is playing Thrall. We have Morpheus on Diablo, Lucio on Gul'dan, Zalt's Decay on Sylvanas, and then Cosmic on Oriel. So, stage is set. Oh, auto attack build. Look at that. Press the advantage for Tychus. So we have an actual auto attack build now for Tychus. That immediately begs the question, what is the level 4 choice going to be? Oftentimes, you still get in the rhythm with an auto attack Tychus. They have Diablo on the other side, and a lot of teams will be tempted to just go for the bigger they are. So we'll see what they're actually going to try and do here. But yeah, this could be fairly interesting from that perspective. Hooks are already connecting a bit. Sylvanas was in trouble for just a moment, but is still totally fine. But yes, I am definitely having my eye on Tychus right now. I want to see what he is going to do and what he's going to play. Down at the bottom of the map, yeah, Fox, Primordial King, and Echo all just sitting tight there. We're having top side now. Also Leo up against Thrall in this case, as expected. And Thrall is already chickening out here. The Rabbit is running. The Rabbit is running. So yeah, he's on the move back here and is like, yeah, maybe I'll fight another day. So the rotation at the bottom of the map still ongoing. No big surprises here just yet either. They're slowly starting to take the minions. Obviously the next step will be the mercenary camps where the teams are already getting busy to apply a little bit more lane pressure. And I want to see the level 4 talent. Give me Tychus. I need that level 4 talent from Tychus and see what he is actually going to do with this now. Back up here at the top. Leo, careful my friend. initially with Austin's Renewal as his level 1 talent choice, he did well against Thrall, but then struggling. Ooh! Tychus going for Master Assassin. Okay. Attack speed increase, I guess, but honestly, this is a pairing that you see very, very rarely. Press the advantage plus Master Assassin. I don't think I've ever seen this. I don't think I've ever seen this as a combo. Normally you get one of the other auto attack ones, so yeah, that's quite strange. But okay, this is also lower levels, so you could get a lot of stacks together here. He gets the attack speed advantage, he has the attack speed range right now. We'll see how he continues with the build. I guess sizzling attacks later on will be a thing too, but we'll find out as the game continues. At the top, Thrall still doing a bit of damage. Taking the camp very early, but yeah, there's the hook and straight into the range. The rabbit wanted to run, ran a little bit too slow, and that is the end of Thrall. Oh, but also in the middle, exchanging kills as both Malfurion and Sylvanas fall. So both of them are gone. The red team not going for the objective. I guess the idea for the red team, for the Sloth Sanctuary, was really to just ignore objective number 1, use Sylvanas and take a few structures out. That backfired when Sylvanas died, so now they're in that weird spot where they've lost a couple of their heroes, they are behind in experience, they can't... I mean, honestly, they can't really fight for the objective anymore. And they have to somehow now decide how they want to play this. I guess they're just going to sit at the top and defend. But this didn't go well for them. Level 7 gives us the Combat Tactician. So they're going to play around that a bit. I'm personally a little bit sad that we didn't get in the rhythm. I like stacking talents like this. And it's not the most popular build to go full auto attack on Tychus for good reason. It's not the most powerful build there either. It can be okay in some circumstances, but it would have been nice to see it again and see how much they can do with it, especially against Diablo at the front. But now it's the hook that murders Diablo, so he's gone on that. We still get more hooks thrown out, another jump as the wall is already destroyed. Blue team looking much, much better than they did in game number 1. I mean, way better right now. This is looking really, really strong from them, at least the initial performance here. If they are able to do a little bit more with this and win the game, force game number 3, that's of course a different story. But yeah, we'll see. Now they're taking with the first objective already the top side fort out, which is pretty big of course. Thrall is pushing at the bottom of the map. So there is quite a bit of work to do for Sloth Sanctuary if they want to bring this back. I mean, a lot. It's going to be a very, very curious game here. I told you, sloths are lazy. They're going to be sitting there thinking, hey, we need to win this now, or we're going to have a problem because we need to play another map. And we are all mega lazy and we're tired. So, down at the bottom of the map, we're now looking at the next camp about to be taken. So this one is going to be locked in by the blue team, at least. Well, actually, not so sure. Now that we have the rotation from their opponents, this might actually backfire on us. So, yep, it's being taken over. There's the hook, though, and Sylvanas is fine. Yeah. A couple of grenades made this scary for a second, but now we have also level 10 abilities. They still don't seem... It's actually kind of funny. Blue team gets level 10, doesn't want to go back into the camp. It's like, nah. But the red team is now so scared because of the heroics, as they should be, that they're just simply letting it go, and the blue team still doesn't take it. So, it's a bit weird. I suppose that they wanted to force a fight, but they couldn't. But, yeah, finally we have at least Tychus going for it. So they will take this over. Thrall with Earthquake, we have Apocalypse. Sylvanas hasn't made a choice yet. She goes for Mind Control. So, Mind Control Sylvanas for now. And Thrall still getting the experience up at the top lane for the team. But down at the bottom, a little bit of extra fighting going on currently. So they're trying to see what they can do here. Fully stacks also on Diablo now. So he's completely stacked up at this point. Yeah, and they are still trying to leverage Sylvanas a bit to get the additional work. So, yeah. There's the falls done. Apoc, Malfurion, and he's dead. Rocket Ride for Junkrat, but Diablo is gone just after Malfurion falls. They take down 2 heroes, and now the chance, of course, to go for the objective that spawns in 15 seconds. So, nicely done. They get a bit of momentum on this one, and yep, could now easily go for at least a head start on the objective. They're not going to be able to get the entire thing before Stitches is back, and is going to launch another barrage of hooks. But this is at least a chance to get themselves a bit ahead. I am surprised to see that the blue team has decided to go for the camp and delay this even further. So now there's even more of a lead for the Sloth Sanctuary on objective number 2. But they haven't won this yet. They're ahead with 20, but Odin is of course in play. So this is not a guaranteed win, but they get another wall stun on Leo, who's immediately low. Sylvanas, okay, dodges out on the mine over here. Thrall coming in. And also for the Ancestral Wrath, has to play around that and be a bit careful on this one too. And as it stands right now, they are starting to try go for that play. I mean, honestly, they have 31 stacks. If they want to get the thing, the Punisher, they gotta be a little bit more aggressive around this, because the blue team is now in full control of the Shrine. They are on point on this. So a bit more AoE is definitely needed. There's the trap, and instantly the Gorge. Malfurion, can they kill him? Leo is down, so is Gul'dan, and the Arcane Punisher at least is taken by the Sloth Sanctuary. Malfurion nearly died in that encounter too, but it ends up just being a trade between Gul'dan and Leoric. So not the best trade for the Sloth Sanctuary. Would love to have Gul'dan with his push now too, but it just wasn't going to happen. They still need to try and use Sylvanas to enhance the push further. And that's exactly what they're doing. They're not going to be able to take a fort down. And again, let's not forget, with the first objective, Team Space immediately eliminated the fort at the top lane. It's 4 kills to 4. The hook range is increased with level 13. And now both of the teams on essentially even experience. A tiny advantage for Sloth Sanctuary. They have Thrall still sitting at the top side. Gul'dan is at 27 stacks on his level 1. Damage output, just to give you a bit of an idea on this, we have 23,000 for Gul'dan. 18,000 for Junkrat. There's the hook! Yeah, they wanted to get the Gorge but couldn't. Diablo, again, he's eating those, but he also needs to be careful. You don't want to end up in a situation where all of a sudden you are ending up on another side of the wall. So yeah, as long as those walls are standing, they gotta be cautious. But this was a nice one. Horrify is in. Thrall with a side lane attack there. Nice. And now they go for Stitches, who tried to escape after a Gorge, but was also eliminated. Another double kill for Sloth Sanctuary. The Sloths are rocking it over here. Neat. Yeah, and now, of course, Sylvanas is adding real value to this push. There's only 2 defenders, and Junkrat immediately taking damage. So now they are coming in, doing some extra damage. They won't get the fort, but they can still do a bit more damage before Stitches is back to business. So, not too bad. Yeah, looking good here. Top side, Thrall is immediately back on his lane. Back on the lane, doing his thing. The choice of level 4 for Tigers has so far not really given him too many stacks. Again, you still get that passive attack speed advantage, of course, which is what it's mostly about, since it also applies to Odin. It's actually pretty huge. But, well, that said, they aren't getting big stacks together. 16 talents are nearly ready, and the good news for Gul'dan is that the Ruinous Affliction synergy is nearly kicking in, because he's about to complete his level 1 quest. So that's great for him. Additionally, we are now looking at Thrall with a second charge. Sorry, not with a second charge. With this Thunderstorm boost that he's going to get. And the blue team, again, they're trailing. Half level behind, 2 kills behind. Now they move down to the bottom of the map. They have full vision of what's going on at the top lane, where the camp has pushed in. The blue team is moving as a 4-man, so that exposes the bot lane completely. And is going to, yeah, able to take down that keep, that fort. So that's the first fort gone. They're now even in structures. And, oh, Diablo with the engage. They try for Stitches. He tries the Gorge. Or at least it looked like it. Now he grabs it. But the mind control, beautiful from Sylvanas. Absolutely beautiful. Can they get the kill? Doesn't seem like they can take Stitches down. They thought about it for a second. They nearly grabbed it, but they take Leo instead. Oh. And Tychus also just barely made it here. But the ice block, the Aegis, and see, she's still dead. Yep, Sylvanas is still dead. Shrine is active, by the way. It is a 4 versus 4 now, but Leo will be back so much sooner. So not a great spot for them. And the hook from Stitches. The hook from hell. And that's bad news now. This should be a guaranteed shrine for the blue team. Who is more worried about... What? No! Do they... Nope. I'm not sure that they know that there's a shrine active. Did they actually miss it? They're not sending anybody to the shrine. I honestly don't know if they know that the shrine has okay, they're going topside now. Of course they know. Okay, thank God. I was really sitting there thinking like, they're really going for camps. That would have been wild. Just imagine them missing out on that. That would have been absolutely insane. So yes, they're moving on to the point. Seems like the red team is going to let it go. Thrall is ready. They have most of their ults ready. So they have maybe a chance here, but whew, that would have been a bit nuts. I don't think they can get him past the... No, they can get him past the board. He has to push out to the bottom. Sylvanas, yeah, Aegis, they're trying to burn it off. Apocalypse is being used. Wall is open in a second, and Junkrat goes down, so does Diablo, but Diablo will be back. Junkrat is not gonna be arriving anytime soon, so since they still have a... the blue team still has a fountain. They can technically try and fight for that objective. Diablo is on his way back in. They have a 5 versus 4 going on for themselves, but they have to hurry. Oriel, Cosmic, he needs to have some extra hope and does have it now, but they are getting stopped by the root, and I don't... Yeah, no. They might get a kill though. Maybe they can get a kill. They can try to go for Tychus. Tychus is in trouble, and he goes down. So they get kills at least. The Punisher is moving through, but they have gotten another kill after Junkrat was the initial one to be eliminated. So now the chance to take the Punisher out. But they also shouldn't really... Yeah, again, they are giving too many opportunities to someone like Stitches to get hooks connected. He didn't have the Gorge ready, I guess. Now it's available, but that would have been rough. This is a great defense, though. I mean, that defense works really well for them now. Getting that one kill was mega important. Taking Tychus out in that situation was a huge play, especially after initially they were able to drop Junkrat. So, yeah, that was nice. By now, we have in the middle still a bit of protection going on for them. Down at the bottom of the map, Leo has taken another camp and is now attempting to do a bit more around that too. Meaning that he's working the wall down, or at least attempts. Thrall is the counterbalance to that. We have 46,000 damage for Gul'dan and 40,000 for Junkrat. I'm still chasing them in the middle a bit more. There's half a level, not even, until 20 is available, and Sloth Sanctuary will have their Storm Talent. Yeah, that on the other hand, even with Earthquake, can use his level 7. Yeah, can Thrall actually get out? Holy crap. He actually made it. Damn. Got entombed and is able to get out. Had to use his Earthquake, but now they have level 20 talents. So, Haunt is in. Earthen Shields. I don't think we're going to get too many big surprises here. Sylvanas is already dealing with the camp at the top lane. But, yep. So far, so good. Mid lane pressure. Slowly. The hooks, they keep coming. Obviously. I mean, this is the way they win the game. Land that monster hook and make the big play. Oriel has decided that Shield of Hope is what she needs here. So, Shield of Hope, the weapon of choice now. And the next shrine is gonna spawn at the bottom of the map, where the red team still has fountains nearby. So, that's the play for them. Entomb gets upgraded. Commandeer Odin is also gonna get upgraded to the big red button. Anything else would just be ridiculous. And we get the upgrade from Malfurion Tranquility into Serenity. Alright, so let's see what's possible for them now. Top side, Leo is defending the lane. Shrine isn't ready yet. Diablo comes in, and they're getting some damage on Stitches. Oh, they get Junkrat! Oh! No! Where was the lock? Where was the wolf? Where was the play into the apocalypse? No! That was a kill opportunity and they messed it up. Great for the blue team. Absolutely fantastic for the blue team. This is a big chance for them now to use the lack of cooldowns on the other team to win the shrine. Diablo has used his cooldown, but that's a big one. Not having Apocalypse, that's a CC chain that you don't have to deal with. There's the hook. They're trying for Gorge, I guess. Hasn't gone for it yet. There's the Horrify, though. They might be able to take Stitches down. Can they? They're already attempting to block him. Where's the wolf when you need it? The whip into the wall. And bye-bye, Stitches. That was a big kill. Leo not being here was massive. Absolutely massive. They win that fight. And now they have a big opportunity to go for the Punisher. And this is a Frozen Punisher. We are talking Frozen Punisher and potentially keep at the bottom of the map. Might even be able to rotate into the middle on the way back out and take that fort apart. So, yeah. They're looking really, really strong here. Blue team is apparently trying to go for the fort in the middle. Careful, they could flank into you. Stitches is not with you. Leo's apparently sniffing this out, but I'm not so sure how fast Malfurion is. There's the Hellgate. Bye-bye, Malfurion. Yeah, that was a mistake. He's dead. Big Entomb, though. Huge Entomb. They're trading. Damn, Thrall is coming in, and they're getting the kill on Leo. Sylvana somehow survived. So did Oriel. I mean, they're still winning the fight, but boy. And the Punisher hasn't been claimed yet, but it will be. Diablo is back, down to 25 soul stacks, of course. This game is going wild. This is absolutely wild. Malfurion just... oh, God. That play in the middle, it was just asking for trouble, wasn't it? They really, really were just sitting there thinking like, hey, if Leo just, like, flanks, if Leo is able to see when they're coming, we're gonna be fine. And no, they weren't. Stitches with a nice hook. He wanted the Gorge, of course, but yeah, that ain't happening. So now what's going on instead is the wall getting destroyed, and the Punisher's already dealing with the keep. This, on the other hand, is the thing. He has the Earthen Shields. He can use his ult. Thrall is gonna go for his ult, gets a shield. They're bullying him around. There's also a stun follow-up instantly. And Tychus is dead! So is Leo! This might be game! This might actually be game! Tychus and Leo are both gone, and we also have a keep destroyed. The Punisher is on the core, so is the red team. The Sloths, ladies and gentlemen. They are doing their thing. We have a 2-0 victory, as it seems, for Sloth Sanctuary. They move on to the winner bracket final. Nicely done. GG and well played.
Thank you everybody for watching the video today. I hope that you enjoyed the show and the commentary. And keep in mind that the spoiler protection that is going to run for the rest of the video is made possible by all the support on patreon.com. So guys, if you want to support my work, if you want to help me start new projects and keep the spoiler protection in place, please consider heading over to patreon.com/Khaldor. There's also a link in the YouTube description, and check that out. Thanks in advance, and see you guys next time with more esports coverage here on Khaldor TV. Have a great day.